Don't you love being busy? Oh, I love being busy. But nice beach. Oh, pine and oak, sandalwood, Johnny Depp, Sauvage, the new fragrance. Mix. I'm good, man. What's happening? Just having a nice look? Let me know if you need anything. Okay, I'd be happy to point you in the right direction. Here at Halcyon Records, we have a resident concierge music service. And don't forget, today is free coffee day. Free coffee at Halcyon, the shop. That's completely free. In fact, open bar here at Halcyon, and we're very excited just to announce that. That's going to be a Sunday afternoon thing, not just today. That's every Sunday from 11 a.m. to 2 a.m., and that's going to be free in fact, and then Mondays, of course, we all know is free record day. Come in, any record of your choice, up to 5, take them, walk out. And we're excited about that. We're very excited about that. I think that's going to be good for business, and we're looking forward to implementing that new strategy in terms of our optimization. Sort of looking forward, dialing out, really zooming in on those particulars. Because what we're doing, what we want to do is get sort of a bird's eye, but really dial in on those particulars. And especially concerning our sort of Q3 performance. And would like to discuss that more, but I think that free records is really gonna boost those sales. And so we're looking forward to that. We're really looking forward to that. What we're doing is looking forward to that, okay? I just really feel like doing quiet. It just feels right to do quiet things. I feel like it's weird to. Wouldn't it be weird to like?
Hello there, pastafarians. It's me, Skizmer. Here I am doing some streaming. It's been a minute. Like, I've been busy doing things, and one of the things that I've been doing is playing Zelda, which was a lot of fun. And now I'm sort of have played Zelda, though I'm like I'm like at 58% or whatever. Not to like brags. But that's what I got to, and now I'm sort of like have time for other hobbies, which is you. So I'm sorry if like I've hurt your feelings by hanging out so much with Zelda. Like, I understand if you're Zelda jealous or zealous. Makes a lot of sense. I get it. I didn't mean anything personal by it, but you know, I understand if you take it personally. It does. It does seem personal. So, like, your feelings are valid, even though, you know, I wasn't trying to hurt your feelings, but I see how they may have been hurted by me, or, you know, whatever. Or maybe Zelda. Maybe you should take it up with her. So we are streaming, though. I don't know, should we go back and stream do that other game that we were playing with the slimes? Like, I could do another Zelda, because I've done a lot of Zelda. I did have a pretty long stream of Breath of the Wild here on this channel a while ago. And I could do the sequel. That would be pretty funny. But, you know, also there's shit that's like I have on my computer, so like I can just do this, and like we don't have to worry about it. And Satisfactory is like very low key, right? It's like pausable. So if anybody shows up for the chats, pardon me. Sorry about that. I had to sneeze a little bit about it in my nose and face. So let me see if I can get Satisfactory going here, and we'll like play Satisfactory while I talk shit. Because that's what you do, right? When you're streaming, is you sort of wait around for people. Well, that's what I do. Wait around for people to come into the Discord and talk some crazy shit. So hold on, let me turn down the audio in this. Maybe we can have some audio, right? Something like this. Am I sure? Sure, I guess. Let me get into the game here. It does take a lot of loading on my poor computer. Let me know if you can hear that poor bastard like buzzing away down there. Yeah, shit, a lot of shit to catch up on, I guess. It's been like 8 months, right? It is Pride Month, which is, you know, it's Pride Month again, so that's fun. It's hard to know what the Christians are going to do on Pride Month. Sometimes it's nothing, and sometimes it's not nothing. So, you know, hopefully it's nothing. That would be great. Last year, I think I went to like a parade. Nothing was going on at all. No. I think very, very little. I couldn't find anyone to talk to face to face. So I just sort of protested the. Just sort of sat around the First Amendment monument and talked to people about it, how it sucks and stuff. So yeah, that's what I sort of did because there was nobody there. So hopefully I can do something as boring this year. Looks like this is working. Let me do my get this working. Over here on the OBS, change the properties of this game so that it's this game. Okay. What about that? Does that look right? Maybe I have to go back here and get a picture of it. That doesn't look right. I'm not like seeing the game here. Maybe I gotta move around? No, I think I'm still not seeing it. Let's remove this one, put on another one that's like a window capture. Yeah, grab that window right there. Boom. Maybe if I close these other ones it'll work as well. That's not right. Look, you can see my thing now. That's not what I want. Maybe if I go like this. Can you see all this stuff? Did that work? It's hard to know if it worked because... Well, that's not right at all, is it? Why is it, like, worse now? It says satisfactory right there. I'm, like, reading it. Satisfactory. Let's refresh it. Inner window, entire window? That's not working. Cancel that. What should we put then? Add window, monitor, image. Let's try that game capture again. It wasn't working, but that doesn't mean it's not going to work, right? Maybe it does. Did we not do satisfactory? I thought I streamed some already. I guess I can close a bunch of shit down. I don't want it to like show the Discord though, because if someone pops in and they're like, "Oh, take my name off," it's like, "Oh, I didn't really put your name on there. We were just talking." What should we do then? Let's play a different game, I guess. I can do fucking. Pardon me. Hold on. I'll sneeze a little bit more. A little more of those sneezes for you. They were telling me on the advertisements that I can't fucking get out of my life that, the next Magic the Gathering is going to be Lord of the Rings, and I guess I just advertised to you, if you can believe that shit. How embarrassing. I fell for their own ploy to get me to advertise their own shit on my very important platform over here. How embarrassed I am. But we could play. So I found my password for Magic, and we can play some Magic, even though I'm like way fucking out of context. Play audio and minimize. I don't know. It's fucking hard to like play Magic and talk to people. I suppose there's robot games we can play. Because we just want to, like, broadcast something, right? So here is Magic. So that works. Alright, let's fucking play some Magic, I guess. I'm like, just picked it up again. It's been a long time. How do we do where we're looking at all the things? Like, all the things. Not recently played, but like, all the things we can do. It looks like all the events, right? Look, this thing is new. Keep playing until the event ends. I have to sign up. Alright, I want to sign up. How much does it cost? I'm going to choose my deck. Let's choose a deck, eh? Here's Mazael Morales. Nice to hear from you again. You as well. You as well, Mazael. Yeah, welcome back. I'm trying to I guess I'm getting the stream ready before what sort of none of my decks work for sort of what they want. Look at that. It's so bad it's got a whole new... Man, I can't even play this thing. This is too hard to understand. Let's go back. Hold on a second. Let's not fuck with that shit. This is against robots, isn't it? But I think I already have it all. Like, those are all checks, right? So, like, this carried over from some old shit I did. Because they just give you this deck. Do I have it? I have it, right? Large and in charge. They'll give you the deck. There it is. See it? So, look, there's one missing, though. Oh, no, I guess it's this one. What a weird thing it is. This is sort of when I was last playing. Sort of had a thing with like a dragon in it. So let's play just the easy thing here, and then we'll get Discord working, and then we'll talk to fucking people. Because if we don't talk to people, we'll be talking about people, and Christians get their butt hurt all the time, so they'll definitely get their butt hurt when we're talking about them. Look, here's 10 decks here, and so let's learn. I generally like to play fast Magic the Gathering online, so I don't like to play turn 8. Basically, is what I like about this game. So if we're at turn 10, I should fucking move along. But, you know, that means I don't get to see too many of the cards here. So, I'm just sort of learning the cards at this point. Every game I'm like, oh shit, this guy's all up in my face. No, that's not true. I don't say that every game. I only say that when a bone dragon is all up in my face. I don't know what any of this shit does at all. If you're like know anything about these cards, do hit me up on sort of strats. I don't even read them actually. I sort of throw them on the table and see what they do. Because there's a time limit, you know. I feel like it's disrespectful to my opponent to sit there and stare at my cards. Like, I don't care what it does. I'm gonna have to discard one of these guys, and I think it's going to be this guy. See ya. Would not want to be ya. So what's going on here? This guy is just a 1/1, and I could kill it, but like why, right? Other than like, you know, let's fucking get it moving. Let's go. Fucking I'd like to see more cards, so let's play these cards. What are we? We're red and white, and he is red and black. See, that's the problem. Is I'm going to be fucking talking about the game. I don't want that. I don't want to be talking about the game at all. So this is a bad game for what we're doing here. Let's do. Let's see. I guess we're just gonna have to do slimes, eh? Well, we don't really have to do a fucking game, right? That's just sort of like a fucking online convention. And I'm pretty, stoned as it is, so I don't really need a game to keep me entertained while waiting for motherfuckers. So I'm gonna hop into here. Does this shit work? Hello, check, check. Yeah, it looks like it works. I'm pushing this and they can hear me, and then without it they can't hear me. And I'm not muted, so alright, I think we'll just wait here for motherfuckers to come into the Discord. There are some people, like, it seems like Discord is done, but I don't know. It's hard to know if the conversations are happening here. If we're gonna, if because we're looking for genuine conversations, and so it's hard to know where to expect those. But the project is to to cause them to be, instead of like discern where they'll be. Like, I'd rather get good at causing people to have genuine conversations, like causing the conversation to become more genuine, than being good at discerning where genuine conversations will be, right? That's a more useful tool to, like, change this one into a good one. So I guess now we just wait until fuckers show up, but it might take a minute. We're not like going into other channels and being like, hey, so my name is pretty provocative, so I'll be down there. We just are being down here provocative. If anyone wants to come to the bottom of the list here and join a three-way with someone called Jesus Lied, that's sort of like, it's going to find a certain type of person. It's hard to know as far as like all the people that I'm seeing in these channels up here, what their sort of history. I guess I can read their fucking profiles, but I just don't want to like click on any of their names, you know what I mean? It seems like a mistake to engage in that way with a sort of system like this. Just like, it's very weird. It's like a ham radio, I guess, in a way. They were like a weird. It was surprising who was fascinated by ham radios. Like, they really were this addictive thing, but some people just couldn't even see the appeal. So like, it definitely is the idea of I'm not trying to get people to play Dungeons and Dragons, you know what I mean? I play Dungeons and Dragons, and if someone's like, let's play Dungeons and Dragons, I'm like, maybe. No, I probably am like, yes. And so, but I'm not trying to be like, you should play Dungeons, because no, dude, if you're not like, what's Dungeons and Dragons? Oh shit, I want to play that. If you don't have that reaction, then like, I definitely don't want to play Dungeons and Dragons with you. If you're not...
Hello.
Oh, look, here's somebody. Hello there. Have we spoken before?
Yes, many
cool.
times.
I got you. Have you been back to listen to those conversations? I did broadcast them to YouTube.
Can you repeat that?
Did you go back and listen to any of the conversations? Have you revisited those conversations we've had?
No.
I find that's very common. That like, I talk to a lot of people, and not many people sort of revisit a conversation. I do it a lot. I go out on the streets and talk to street preachers, and then I generally watch the video again and put it on YouTube. So I have to like see it like 3 or 4 times before it's broadcast in some cases. So what was your position? You were the one trying to prove the historicity of Jesus, or did you join that conversation?
I'm the guy who joined that conversation. I am the guy who leans mythicist.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. I think I believe that you showed up at the end of that conversation, but like I'm not becoming more more convinced. I'm becoming less and less convinced the more I look into it. Are there still good conversations happening? I was thinking about the idea that this might not be the place for conversations anymore.
Good conversation still happens. It just depends on who you're talking with.
I believe he's left. Though I do wonder why. Just because I'm looking at the sort of app here. Usually I'm looking at the game and I don't have to worry about these like lists of names. They're very strange. So maybe he's going to try to talk to someone. Maybe he knows someone who will be a good conversation. Fingers crossed. Ronk is also here. Hello, Ronk. Good to see you again. It's been a while. I played all of Zelda. Well, not all of it. 58%, I guess. So I'm back. The weather is nice, though rainy. So I'm thinking I'm gonna do some stuff this summer. Though sort of like work is always a little bit more than you expect as far as like what they need from you, right? So we're sort of in a not so much my situation, but not my situation, right? Like one time I said not twice just because of like sort of repeating of the idea, but the next time I said not twice intentionally to sort of like have a double negative. So I can see how like a stutter and is hard to discern as like an intentional. So like the second not was a not, but the first not was just sort of like a repeat. It could have been a triple not. Sort of like wasn't really paying attention because I do like to get the fucking syllables in order, but they you do need to hold the fucking thought space by being like, here's some of the parts of this idea, and then connect them together in the back. Sentences are quite complicated sometimes. Depending on how many ideas you're trying to connect, really is a problem. I find that a lot of people that I talk to on the streets don't really like see these sort of logical ideas that I'm like pointing at. I'm like, so see that? And they're like, I literally don't know what you're talking about. So, you know, it is hard to know what evidence is visible to people who are the vocal side of the other of this conversation, of the other side of this conversation. There are a couple people that I've been talking to on Facebook, because I still do, just like, you know, on Twitter and Facebook, shit out, just sort of like, rethink that, idiot. Though I don't often say idiot. I don't often type it. So, you know, I say it a lot, I guess. Though I suppose not to their face. We'll see how many people I've called idiots to their face. It's probably not zero. I do think it's not a zero number. But it's hard to know what will work, especially because I am documenting it, and that feels a lot to people like, it makes them nervous as far as like the camera's pointed at them. So it's hard to know. It's hard to know if you're getting their genuine self or their sort of brand self, right? And then also, they're specifically Christians who are told to not be themselves. And, you know, Christianity is not the only religion that causes people to not be themselves, or ask people to not be themselves. But it definitely is sort of like a major reason people are not being themselves, in that I find, like, as far as like why the people around me are pretending to be somebody else. So that's another two selves, or a third self, I guess, those first two, because then that differentiates. Yeah, the genuine self is hard to understand, because they're trying to be like their Christian self at you, and so, you know, they're playing a character already. And you know, as a satirist, I was playing Marc Rebier up front there, who's doing a satire of an advertisement there, and so like the language of satire is quite illuminative. And it is true that the character that you're playing for other people is satirical. Like, it is, the definition of satire is included in what you're doing when you're wearing a mask for somebody else, when you're trying to be who you think they think you are, or whatever. That is a satire of what you see that as, right? So it's going through your interpretation at least once, and so that's the reason why it's very reflective, I guess. But also that's why the language of satire is part of the conversation. This is a satirical conversation. Paul told his followers to be who they should be, instead of make good decisions, right? The very much Christianity does suffer from the problem that when I was a Mormon, I was playing a character for people. Like, it sort of is like parts of myself, but it still is a masking process. And so it's hard to know when I'm going up to people on the streets and I'm asking them to have a genuine conversation about their Christian beliefs. It's hard to know which version of them I'm talking to, whether it's the version that they're creating for the internet because I'm going to post it, or whether it's this Christian self that they're pretending to be, or whether I can actually talk to the sort of part of them that really listens to mathematical propositions and judges them on their merits instead of sort of the game they're involved in, or not the game, but like the sport. So yeah, I do talk to a couple people on Facebook, like I was saying, and they often talk to the audience, and so that's a problem. Like it's kayfabe, right? Which is a satire of what a like they're up there wrestling, but there's the reason they're wrestling, and so they're like, well, here's a good reason. He fucking smashed up my motorcycle, so I want to fucking punch him in his face, and that's why we're gonna fight. And you don't have to smash up the motorcycle, right? You can say anything up there, and that's what kayfabe is. And so there is that tendency to just sort of like the characters can say anything, and so when you're talking to someone and you're like, hey, here's the math of contradiction involved in the book that you're saying is perfect, and then, you know, they're like, well, you're going to say that it's imperfect because you're trying to prove it's imperfect. It's like, oh, I just don't know how to explain to you that that's projection. Like, I just don't even know how to get to the point that you're accusing me of that because that's what you're doing. You're engaged in that thing. You don't even think it's possible that I actually believe the things that I'm saying, and I'm trying to explain to you the logical way that you can understand it. You think that there's a demon in me and I'm going to be telling lies, and I'm like, and they just say it out over and over, and it's like, yeah, but you have to prove that the fucking Bible is true. That's your position. You walked in with the position of, so the Bible's true, so that must mean that Andrew did all of these things instead of... They can even have a position, I'm surprised they don't have a position of like, John was written later, so he just made some things up. If we're going by Mark or John, who told the truth? It's Mark, because he was closer to the event, and John was just making shit up. They don't even throw away John. They sort of add the two stories together. Like, I obviously don't believe that the people who wrote the books in the New Testament were any more inspired than you or I. I think they were sort of like behind on the thinking of the time. Even I think they were sort of backwards thinkers for what had happened already. Even in the sort of Greek family and area that they were in, the tradition of the culture that they were steeped in, it was still further progressed in the ideas of what morality is and what good behavior is than the things that got enshrined in the New Testament. Just some really childish thinking in the New Testament, even for the time. So, like, just it's really sad that they have to go into the kayfabe with the dedication that, like, one of the guys that I'm talking to really likes to take the battle rhetoric. He likes to take the war rhetoric with soldiers and stuff. And, you know, I don't preach a lot to other preachers. I just sort of make fun of... I just sort of show that they're wrong. But, like, I do like to oppose the sort of battle ideology or rhetoric. I think we need to remove the war rhetoric from the theological conversation. I think it's embarrassing how long that trope has stuck around, for how many times it has turned into literal and obscene violence. Like, just so dumb, careless and childish to be carrying forward such bad behavior, and also talking about people as animals. Also, I think is young. It's very young of us if we continue that. Childish, I suppose. Right, because you can say, you know, Jesus said, be like a child. Paul said, I put away childish things. What does that mean? And they're like, both. And it's like, great. You know, like, you have to say that. And you told me that you live in a universe where people do just sort of double down into an ideology because you accused me of it. If you think I can possibly do it, then obviously you're doing it. Like, I don't think that people can do it. I think that they're sort of like, I don't think they believe that the earth is flat, you know? I think the evidence proves. I think talking about time zones to people should cause their mind to think, okay, Bible says the earth's flat. Earth's obviously not flat. Bible must be sort of metaphorical. Like find a way to soften the stance on the Bible, and in some people just don't. They just sort of double down into that flat Earth, and like, is it because they can't get out of the kayfabe mindset? Like they are always playing this character, and cannot connect to a genuine self anymore, because like that's what they profess, right? They want to be kill their old self for the new self in Jesus. And so, it is like, I suppose some people have achieved it, though I don't know the tools at work, and so I don't know how to prove that the tools at work don't work. It is very hard to talk with these people, and I do confess that I've been sort of like lazy in my talking to John Shuck. It has been a long time, and I just don't think that there is a language that he can receive. I think it's like I do think he's impossible to talk to. Not beyond reach, but just like there's no he devalues language. Like he destroys the language that you're using to communicate. It is just noise in the signal. The signal's undiscernible. Like he's intentionally doing it. I don't know how to get it to stop. He literally hums in his ears. Like it's a very childish behavior to sort of like, it's hard to see an adult person who's lived a whole life sort of behaving like a middle school idea, or younger, I suppose, a grade school sort of thing. But then sometimes, specifically with John Shuck, sometimes he says that he feels like he hasn't progressed mentally since third grade. Like he does say that, I don't know what to do but engage genuinely with that sort of idea, that it's more a call for help than sort of a statement of belief. I think maybe in John Shuck's case, it's like, can anybody help me? Can anybody fix this for me, right? I guess I can't, like, I don't think that conversation is working with John Shuck. Like, I think I thought it was with AJ for a long time. But then, oh my gosh, I missed that one appointment with what's his name, and everyone got their butt so hurt. That was hilarious. I suppose I should see them. This Friday's supposed to be fine. Andreas Castanos is here. Hello there. We're just sort of like chilling, talking about upcoming stuff, what we've been doing, sort of how hard it is to reach John Shuck, I guess. Been sort of like being sad and lamenting the state of reality as far as like, are people beyond the reach of conversation? Is this tool gonna like change the world? We'll see. We were talking a little bit about Mark Rubio, I played in the beginning. He's coming back to Red Rocks to see us at Red Rocks because he had such a great time last time, and so did we. So like, that's gonna be great. You should come out to Red Rocks. It really was a religious experience for me. It was great. You can listen to the like all his concerts are online, so you can go to like the previous Red Rocks concert and join us there. And then you can join us at the next one, which is going to be in October here in the Denver area, in Morrison, I suppose. Morrison very much wants you to talk about their city while you're talking about Red Rocks, because, that's what they got. There's like one street outside of Red Rocks, and they're like, we're Morrison. Oh, okay. It's very funny. Oh, pardon me. Coughing all the time. So, we did have someone here in the three-way room, but then he sort of like moved along. It doesn't... I'm not really looking for a three-way. I'm just saying, if a three-way happens, that's fine. I don't need to keep it one-on-one. Then there's micro chat here, but someone's in there and they're like muted. Then there's mini chat where 5 people can go. Maybe we should go there. Let's move over there. So, and I couldn't get the fucking game I wanted to play to work, so I'm like depressed about that. Do you know if John supports Christian theocracy as a form of government? I think he doesn't. I think we talked a little bit about it very early, but from what I gather, I think that he would say that he wants Christians to like disengage with government, but I think that he would, I think he does vote. I think I don't think he has like a religious conviction to not vote. So I think he would go with it, he would like accept it and be like happy about it if it happened, of like America was like, we got to separate into 2 countries and one of them's going to be a theocracy. He'd be like, well, I know where I'm going, right? I know where it's going to be better. So I don't think he really talks about it as an idea as far as like something people should do. But he talks a lot. Like he definitely broadcasts, he plans to broadcast like an hour a day. And, he hits more than half of his numbers. He's I guess. I haven't really looked at him in a while. So I think he's just sort of under the conversation, but like, that doesn't mean anything. He would go along with it when it happened. And he would vote for it if it was on the ballot, I think. I think he's not doing anything on the day of voting, and he's like, oh, I'll go over there and I'll raise the Christian flag with my vote. I definitely think it's the major motivator in his life, and advertising is all that it takes to sort of activate his commitment to the God of Jesus. All you got to do is say that the God of the Bible. All you got to do is say that the Bible wants you to vote for. Yeah, just someone he thinks is a true Christian has to say it, and then he'll feel it, right? Like that is what works. So I don't think he's doing it, but that's meaningless. And I definitely, the fucking flavor of Christian fucking nationalism just is insane right now. Like, I'm shocked. Like, I lived in Oklahoma 10 years ago, and it didn't taste like a fucking Christian, like, government. Like, I don't know. There were a lot of Christians, but it wasn't like, I don't know, man. Maybe it's just because I didn't talk to people, but it wasn't all up in my face like it is everywhere now, right? It just is, the conversation is, these dudes want to own their wives again. It's like, alright, well, no. Like, I get that you want to. Like, people wanted slaves, right? Like, I get that you were like, to make my life easier, can we just go back to that? No. No, I get it. It worked. It'd be so much easier if I could just tell my slaves to do it all. Like, it would be, right? Like, you'd have so much money if you could just tell people to go plant all the crops and pick all the crops. Oh, man, you'd be rich, right? Yeah, well, too bad, right? That's right. I'm not, like, coming up with new shit here, right? This conversation happened a while ago, isn't it? Maybe not. It's hard to know. I'm trying to figure out, in a couple conversations I'm in, what religion is. Like, what we mean when we say religion. Because a lot of people mean the supernatural beliefs that you hold. And that's fine. Like, I'm involved in those conversations, and I'm not going to say, like, let's redefine the term, let's come up with another term. I think, like, we just, in this conversation, this is what we mean. But, like, I think that when a Christian says, well, your religion is blah, I don't think they're wrong about it. We shouldn't get pedantic about it and be like, that's not what religion means. Because that's the thing they're trying to communicate, is like, theirs comes from this and yours comes from this. And, you could be like, well, that's not religion, that's your philosophy. I don't have a religion. It's not really moving the conversation And it might be like that's the point. Is when I look at what convinces, I've got two theories, right? I've got math convinces, right? Numbers convince, and then the other theory is lost right now. I can't have both theories at the same time. Too bad. And I've got the math to show you that, but I don't have the other thing, which is, oh well, I can't go back there. Apparently I've smoked too much already. What does work out there in the street? I don't know. I think similarity, but that's not the thing that I was going to look for. I think that's part of math, right? The sort of rules about similarity that comes from like geometry. So, and fractions, right? Like, sort of relating the rational idea of 2/4 is 1/2, and then you're like, that's sort of the math that we're using. That's sort of the way of thinking about reality that we use to be like, you say, you know, the Bible's true because you were sad once and then you stopped being sad, and then like a Muslim says the Quran's true because he was sad once and then he stopped being sad. And so who am I going to listen to? How do we know which of those is being lied to by a demon, right? Maybe both, right? It's that same thing. That's sort of not like that's a mathematical thing that we're doing is attempting to use similarity to prove a thing. And I think it's effective. Well, I also think that like I think that scaring people through violence is effective, and I think that sort of encouraging people is also effective, but I think they're immoral. And so I sort of am not asking what works. I'm saying what's the moral option that works. So it's like, how do we cause people to not believe in the infallibility of the Bible? Like, I'm looking at online, I'm having this conversation, and I'm being like, look, here's Andrew meeting Jesus in the book of Mark, and here's Andrew meeting Jesus in the book of John, and those sound like different stories in the way that here's Uncle Ben dying in this Spider-Man, and here's Uncle Ben dying in this other Spider-Man, and those are different stories. And they're like, no. So here's what happened. Uncle Ben got shot by so-and-so, and then so-and-so showed up, and then he said this, but then he said this in a text to so-and-so. So it's like, all right, but you can do that all you want, but yeah, can't you see that that's similar? Like, can't you see that you're doing the behavior of the ideologue, right? The person who has to believe it, thus finds a way to, instead of a person who wants to believe what's true, and so has to follow the evidence. And yeah, the argument isn't that there's no evidence for the God of the Bible. The argument is there's only bad evidence for the God of the Bible. And that's, that's why I can't believe in the God of the Quran, is there's only bad evidence for the God of the Quran, and, let's do that. Redonk says they quite literally make believe. Right, absolutely. And it's shocking that it's possible is the thing that I'm surprised about. The thing that's fascinating to me is that it can't be possible, right? Like, I'm walking around and I'm seeing people hurt themselves, and I'm like, you can't hurt yourself, right? There's defense mechanisms in yourself so that you stop hurting yourself. And it's like, no, because there's often choices. The way we find ourselves here is you can hurt yourself this way or you can hurt yourself that way. And they choose the lesser. Like, it is every moment is this fucking ultimatum, right? Of like, look, if you want to stay in this family, you're gonna believe the Bible. And that just happens overtly more often than a person can believe, and covertly all throughout the society that I have grown up in. It's insane that presidents are not completely embarrassed to say, I'm a Catholic. I think the Pope is a Pope. Like, oh my God, you do? And do you think that, like, Caesar was ordained of God? Like, what other 2 millennia old idea do you just have in your brain? What? Jesus. That pointing your razor blade north will keep it sharp? Like, what other insane thing does this president have in their head? What other belief has been completely fabricated? Who knows when it will come in? Like, there's a Mormon senator or congressman who, after he was a congressman, went into the Mormon leadership and just bragged about how useful it was for the Mormon church to have him as a congressman, and how great it was, and how they need to use more of their influence on the political Mormons. Like, he says it out loud, we have it recorded, it's just right there, and zero repercussions. Like, it's insane. There was a hearing about it, the Reed Smoot case, when Utah became American. This whole fucking group of people were like, if you do that, it's like having a pope as a senator. They don't care about America, they care about the Vatican. And that absolutely happened. There was a trial to be like, Reed Smoot would never do that. No one would ever do that. And then here's this guy saying, 100 years later, that he absolutely did that. And that he's surprised that they didn't ask for more from him. And so, might just be a character he's playing for those people, so that he gets a good job in their fucking organization now that he's not a thing. But he might be telling the fucking truth, dude, that he fucking absolutely... Well, no, he said that he voted for the war in Iraq because he saw God's hand in it. Like, that's a quote from him. And so this fucking made-up belief that we're getting closer and closer to this thing that was talked about in Revelation instead of further and further away, which is what is happening. They're like, yes, I understand that wars are happening and that people are dying terrible things, but if we're trying to see how many people, it's like less and less, right? People are more literate now. People die less violently now. Like, as a percentage of how many people there are. Like, the numbers are getting bigger as far as, like, how many people are on the planet. And so, like, it is more people who are living miserable lives than 1,000 years ago, because there's 1,000 times the people. But, as a percent of life, it's much lower. Yeah, anyway. They are most likely emotionally invested in their faith-based systems, and they don't want to give it up. That's right. We do sort of make up our ideas based on this emotional structure of safety in our society. Whether it's like growing up in your parents' house, right? Like, it is this conversation of authority. Whom shall you obey? You obey me. I'm your parent. You obey my God. That's who I obey. Right? That's the conversation. It makes a lot of sense. But it is, I am coerced into obeying this God, and I'm coercing you. Just so you know, if God tells me to kill you, I will. Right? That's in the Abrahamic religion. He probably won't, but you never know. It's the fucking end times. Like, it's just this weird fucking threat, ultimatum at all times. Which pain are you going to choose? The pain of not being a member of this family, or the pain of servitude to this ancient idea? And, emotionally, you just choose the fucking low energy thing. I was talking about Pride Month here, and it sort of is.
Oh, hello. I think somebody. You're fishing, aren't you?
Hello?
Not the fish. Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm well. Have we spoken before?
I don't know. Maybe.
Excellent. I have spoken to this fellow a couple times. What what kind of conversations are you looking for in a survey like this?
Well, I looked at your nickname and I thought, well, this is very interesting.
In what way? Do you believe that, are you a Jesus believer?
I'm a Jesus believer. You got that.
Do you believe that Jesus lied?
No, I don't believe that Jesus is lying.
No. I don't mean... I mean has ever lied. Do you believe that Jesus has ever told a lie?
I do not.
So, if I could prove to you that Jesus did tell a lie, would you stop believing in him?
No, but I am interested in your argument.
I'm interested in your no. When you said no right there, that very much interests me. And I don't want to give you my argument because of the no. If I give you my argument and I prove that he lied, your no still stands, right?
I think there's one place in Scripture where he does tell a lie.
I don't know. Yeah. Well,
in the Bible.
No,
I think there is. I just have to do some searching to remember where it was.
There's much more than one, but that's not the point of the conversation. Even if I prove it to this guy here, he's not going to stop believing in Jesus. So it's moot, right?
But I think my problem is that if you make a statement, you have to prove it, and you've made the statement, so you should prove it.
I only have to prove it if it means anything, right? If I say I love pizza, and you're like, prove it, and I'm like, why? Will my love of pizza change your mind on anything? You're like, no. What's the purpose of proving it? It's moot.
Because you made the statement.
Right.
Otherwise, then you are actually telling the non-truth.
I made the statement. I asked you, would you stop believing in Jesus if he lied? And you said, what'd you say when I asked you? If I proved that Jesus lied, would you stop believing?
Here's the deal, though. I don't know that you can prove it. And so until you present your argument...
Yeah, but that's what if is. Do you, believe in the word if?
You have no case.
I'm saying if I have a case, does it matter? Are you going to change your behavior if I prove my case?
I'm saying you have no case until you presented the evidence.
I'm not disputing that. I'm not bringing my case at all. Because you're saying whether my case is valid or not, your behavior won't change. So why bring the case?
Because it's still important to bring the case.
Cool, I have the case. It's on my YouTube channel. You can go see it. If you care, you don't.
Show me
the case is... Dude, do your own research.
Send me your YouTube channel link.
I shan't. I'm not going to. You get your answers. I'm asking you questions.
By the way, just click his fucking description.
Yeah, dude, figure it out. I've done enough work here to explain to you
in the Bible where he does lie. There is a place in the Bible where Jesus lies.
It doesn't matter.
That is in Scripture.
Mewtwo's going to be a Jesus believer anyway.
Just a minute. So that means that there is a place that he lies. We know this.
Show me.
Big deal. He's a human.
We don't know this.
If
we're involving the four people in this conversation, you can't say we do. You can say I believe.
Show me.
Yes, because Mewtwo's not going to care. He doesn't believe this thing you're saying. He's already said
I'm saying
that whatever argument you make here, he's just going to...
Stop.
I know what you're saying.
Stop. Let me finish my sentence.
I am letting you finish your sentence. I'm just also talking
I'm
at
just
the same time.
bulldoze my sentence. See, you're making him leave because you wouldn't let me finish the sentence.
You can also leave though, right? Thanks. So, yeah, I'm not going to conform to whatever the rules are here. Because again, why make the argument if it's moot? I just do not understand why. I've addressed the thing. I've made an argument for we're not going that way, and they're like, but you're not going that way. And I'm like, I told you why. It's fucking insane to me. I'm trying to talk about why you wouldn't change your mind if I proved it. That's where we're going, and they just cannot. They confessed it. He said it twice, but we can't talk about why it's true. We have to do this other thing that's going to be a distraction from the thing that I'm saying, which is, what the fuck are you talking about? When you say no, how is that happening in your brain? People have a bad habit of attaching their ego to their ideas and defending them both at all costs. Yeah, I agree. And we sort of... The bad habit comes from... I don't know, comes from, but is reinforced by the way that we see it done. As far as, like, the only entertaining conversations we have are, like, this other sort of kayfabe, right? Like, the real fights, like some of the stuff that you see recorded on in high schools of like people getting into fights, like those things are not glamorous at all, you know. And so the you know, Mike Tyson was a world champion at organized boxing. And, you know, good for him. But, like, you know, boxing is used for a thing, and he was not the world champion of that. Of, like, violence unto, I don't know, you know, whatever the actual use of violence is in the high schools or whatever. So... I was talking about Pride Month a little bit before people arrived, and there is this low. I was thinking about this idea of the Pride Month is. There's lots of people in Pride Month who are like, I can't believe that you would do this on Pride Month, and that's not. We need to not think that. We need to be ahead of the game on that. Like, that really is sort of, you didn't expect that? Like, I am not, I'm like in the LGBT idea. Like, I'm not an ally, I'm LGBT, and so like, I'm just talking about my experience as far as like, how I'm trying to have this conversation with people who are not. But also, you know, I'm LGBT is sort of 4 very broad groups, and I'm only one of those groups, and like, you know, we're trying to add more groups. Like, I only say LGBT so that I think I should say queer, I suppose. I try to say not straight as far as like the most communicative way of saying it, but when people are like, LGBT is a thing, I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm part of that thing. So, you know, I'm not trying to say how they should do it. I'm trying to say how we should do it. We should be ahead of that part of the conversation. Like, we shouldn't be surprised that people are super Christian in Pride Month. We should be like, why are you talking about this in February, right? Can we keep all the hate to the month where we're actually like... Because that low energy state of closeted, right? Of like, don't talk about it. Like, I don't know. I'm only very lightly closeted, and so but it is this idea of coming out of like these the closet is this low energy state, and in order to get to another one, like a safer, more comfortable place than being closeted, you have to get up through this high energy state. And so that's what's happening on Pride Month. So, like, we should expect it to be, the Christians are like, oh, it's Pride Month, it's time to get our content, right? And be ready for the content instead of surprised that they're here. But, like I say, I didn't find anybody at last year's sort of parade and after parade, so hopefully that'll be the same this year. Redonka's like LFMAO, LMFAO, another one that can't comprehend even entertaining the idea of riff. Right, it's tragic how samey the conversation is. It's tragic how these people have never contemplated step 3. Literally, they're like, the person who opposes you will have no rational thoughts, so get out there and talk to them. And then you're like, okay, so here's the rational reason you're wrong. And you're like, that's not rational. And it's like, who told you that's not rational? It seems rational. Like, you just think it's not rational because you've been told that my arguments are not rational, not because it's not rational. You're like, it seems rational, but it must not be because I've been told that your team doesn't deal in rationalities. Aha, I got you there. And I'm like, what are you talking about? What is going on here? That they all are doing the same thing of like, immediately off. And they're like, but you didn't tell me why. And it's like, yes, and I told you why, I didn't tell you why. And they're like, well, tell me why. Like, no, I did. Look it up. Like, shut up. Get out of this conversation with this old shit. This old fucking shit. Listen to the thing I'm saying and respond to it instead of dismiss it because I didn't give you what you wanted. Well, you're not giving me what I want, so fuck you too, bro. What the hell? He's like, he didn't lie. I'm like, if he did, would you stop? And like, no. And like, so who cares? And he's like, me. And like, you don't care. That was that conversation, right? Every single time it's that. So embarrassing for them. It's like the first time on the field, right? Like, I came here to have conversations with people who've had conversations, and they're like, let me finish. And I'm like, I'm literally hearing you talk. You can finish. You're stopping yourself. Like, this other guy pops in. He's like, we've talked before. And I'm like, cool. Did you listen to it again? He's like, no. And I'm like, well, that's weird. I have. And your arguments are bad. Like, I don't know how to fucking say it. Like, go back and listen to it. Is there anything you're embarrassed about? I've listened to it and my fucking ideas hold, dude. You guys are always being like, well, emotionally I know you're wrong, so here's why it might be that you're wrong. And it's like, that's not how we play the game at all. That's not how we play the game. Have they been playing the game like that this whole time? It's this emotional battle and all these dudes are like, boys are so not emotional, we're so logical. It's like, yeah, boys like the Pope and the fucking Ayatollah and like King Henry VIII? Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Yeah, fucking Julius Caesar was not emotionally motivated to become the fucking king of the Republic. It wasn't like his fucking emotions that drove that, right? It was he wanted a better life. He knew he could be a better leader than the fucking Senate, and so it wasn't emotionally motivated. I think I got that one. That joke published. So that's fun. I thought we were going to get no conversation, and then we did get some conversation, and so that is hilarious. But let's fuck off, because I was going to fuck off before, though I get distracted talking about shit, especially because it's been forever. It's been an hour, though, that we're streaming, and that counts. Check! I also have a sort of like thing to get my heart rate up in the garage, like a pedally bikey thingy. So I'm gonna get my check marks on that shit too. Then I'm gonna go play some Zelda too, because I am having a fun time with her, and you're not invited. So but you can spend time with her. Like, that's fine. You can go hang out with Zelda as well. I'm not gonna get jealous. We can talk about Zelda later and be like, here's what I like about Zelda. Because I can't say it now because of like spoilers and stuff. It's weird with the relationship. She's all like, don't tell anybody about me. I'm like, alright. I'm sure that's a fucking red flag, but like, I don't care. Anyway, guys, sorry for wasting your time again. Hopefully we'll have some probably get some people this summer. I'll go talk to some people on the street. And again, we're gonna try some reformed stuff here. I really do wonder what works. Like, what the fuck?
Did you want to tell me what Jesus lied about?
Do I want to? No,
Well, I mean, you're obviously having some sort of temper tantrum about it. You're on the internet in a room, and you've named yourself Jesus Slide, and now you can't even let somebody talk. You ask a question, but you don't want to answer. Let me guess. We came from monkeys, and you know that because of fossils, right?
That's not what I'm saying. Hey, I can't pronounce your name. What's your name?
It's Amrami. Amrami.
Amrami. Amrami. Am I saying it right?
Yeah, Amrami. Yes.
Does it mean something in its language?
Yes, it means the. It means the Amrami in Hebrew. That's all. That's all it means.
What
is the father of Moses. Amram is the father of Moses. Moshe, Old Testament guy.
Gotcha,
You might have heard of the Ten Commandments. Yeah.
So you're saying that you're Moses' father? Is that what your name means?
No,
and
Amram
you're having
means
a
part of
temper
the
tantrum
family.
about it?
No, Princess Toadstool that lives on the internet. It means I'm part of the lineage. It means I'm a Levite. Or an Amrami, a different part of the Levi tribe.
And so that's what you're saying with your name, is that you're a fucking Levite and you have a tantrum about it on the internet, and you come on the internet and you cry about the powerful God that you have.
This pervert child abuser
so
tonight.
Let me ask
Here
you
we go.
this.
Let's destroy this little pedophile that thinks it's okay
Jesus
to rape children.
lied. You don't even sound like a...
You're going to cast his demons out. I compel this demon to eat shit.
Who are you talking
and continue to live on the internet and never have anything to show forever in the rest of his life.
Who are you talking to?
A pedophile.
Are you talking to me?
Never know anything.
And Rami, I'm talking to you. Are you talking to me? I am
never be able to talk about his own evolution religion because he desperately needs the evolution religion to justify his pedophile lifestyle. Thanks for playing. Enjoy your exorcism.
Did it work? Am I a different person now? Have you cleaned me of my spirits? Or am I going to be saying the same things I said before? Yeah. I suppose there were a lot of sort of guesses he was making there. I do love Princess as a accusation. I don't know. I literally don't know why he would be in here unless he had some sort of idea about Jesus. It looks like he just is doing exorcisms. Internet exorcisms. If you do want one, he gives them away free. I can give you his address. Internet address, I mean. I was going to go away to my girlfriend, Zelda, and spend some time with her, and then I got exercise. Maybe it was of the desire to play Zelda. Maybe I should go check in and see if it has turned to dust in my mouth. Thanks for coming by, pastafarians. See you soon when we talk to street preachers about their false beliefs. And then hopefully we can see you at Mark Robier's Red Rocks fucking show. I'm definitely going to that. I think I've got tickets already, but it's hard to know because it might be scam tickets. You know, you never can tell what's real until they like accept your ticket. Do be safe out there, and yeah, you know, let's try to fucking change people's minds a little bit. I think we can do it. Definitely. If you, I'll keep you updated on Red Rocks. If you want to go listen to his previous one, Mark Robier's Red Rocks, I'll put it like in the links. Wait a minute.
So, are you going to tell me where?
So I've asked you an if question that proves that where he lies is moot. Do you understand the words that I've just said?
No, I ask you, are you going to show me where or not?
I've already said I'm not going to, and I can tell you why I'm not.
Man.
You can find out, though, because I've published it on my YouTube channel. You heard me when I said that, right?
Here, just a minute. I gotta look up your profile.
But you heard me when I said it. You're not engaging in any of the things I'm saying. So this isn't really a conversation, is it? You're like preaching at me, aren't you?
You're not engaging with me either, you know?
Is that right? Is that right? How can you tell if I'm engaging with you? What would the evidence be?
Because you haven't told me yet.
Is that right? Can I engage with you without telling you? Is it possible that I'm engaging but not telling you?
Maybe I'm engaging with you by not cooperating.
Maybe. Is that right? Not cooperating is engaging. So that's what you're saying. So if I not cooperate with you, would you call that engaging?
In a negative way.
So I'm engaging with you in a negative way when I don't tell you where Jesus lied, right? I'm engaging with you in a negative way.
I found it.
So I am engaging with you, right? And I'm engaging with you when my name is Jesus Lied, right? I'm engaging with people to be like, hey, if you want to have a conversation about this and why it's meaningful, hop into the spinny chat. Like all those 4 words were right there when you saw me and you clicked on it, right? And that's how I engaged with you, right? But when I ask you an if question, and then you answer it and you're embarrassed of the answer, and I say, let's talk about why you gave that answer, you're not engaging with that idea, right? About why you said no, it won't change your mind if Jesus lied. Why you said no to that question. Let's engage with that, okay? Should it change?
Yes, let's engage with that.
Excellent. Should it change a person's mind if I proved the Quran false? Let's say someone believes in the Quran, and I said, there's a contradiction in the Quran, and they said, there's no contradiction in the Quran. And I said, if I showed you a contradiction in the Quran, would you stop believing in the Quran? And they said, no. Should I show them the contradiction in the Quran at that point? Would you?
The thing about Islam, and particularly
no, we're not
Muslims
talking about
and
Islam. We're talking about
contradictions.
how someone would react to the news that there's a contradiction in the thing that they said is not contradiction. We're not talking about what's wrong with Islam. We're talking about the behavior of the person in this case. I said, do you believe there's a contradiction in Islam? They said no. I said, if I proved there was, would you stop being a Muslim? And they said no. Shouldn't it? Shouldn't it be evidence against Mohammedism if I proved a contradiction, if they believe there's not one?
I was trying to answer that. And
No, you were trying to talk about what's wrong with Islam. You were not trying to engage with the question that I put on the table. You were just going to preach to me about what's wrong with Islam.
Nope, I wasn't going to preach to you what it was about.
Then why did your sentence start the way it did? Go ahead and use the original syllables that you used for that sentence and continue your sentence.
The Dark Shop. Just a minute. I'm looking up your website.
Well, do that when I'm gone. Okay? This conversation is here and now, and it's about why you don't care if Jesus lied.
Oh, I don't remember saying that. I said,
if Jesus lied, would you still believe in him? Yes?
You asked me. Okay, I'm going to let you keep talking.
No. What did I ask you? Tell me what you asked. Tell me what I asked you. And tell me your answer. What do you think I asked you? Stop being distracted. We are right here having a conversation. What did I ask you that you said no to? It's funny, people like you keep telling me that I interrupt them and I don't let them talk, and here's me letting you talk, and here's you not.
I'm looking on your website. I'm looking for your videos.
Don't. Instead, engage with the questions I'm asking you here and now. Would it be logical for a Muslim not to care if there's contradictions in the Quran? Would it be logical?
So someone said I could find the proof on their website. So I was
yes,
like,
you can leave here and go do that. But while you're here, we're having a conversation that you're disengaged from because you're afraid of the things that I'm saying. So you choose to not engage.
I haven't found it yet.
If I could prove that Jesus lied, would you still call him God?
Here's the deal. I don't think you can prove it.
I know you don't think that. I know you don't think that. That's why I said if. That's what the fucking word if means. Have you ever heard of the word if? So let me say this. If the earth was flat, would you want to know?
And here's the deal.
Answer the question. If the earth...
Okay, I'm just going to let you talk.
No, don't let me talk. Answer the questions I ask. If the earth was flat, would you want to know? The question on the table is, if the earth was flat, would you want to know?
No.
But you understand the word if, right?
Yeah.
And you engage with it there, right? So why can't you engage with it when I ask you, if Jesus lied, would you want to know? You just say, I don't think you can prove that. I know, dude, and I just proved that in other cases, it's normal to just walk right by that. And so you making that statement is wasting time, and I proved it.
So I think the original question was, if I could prove that Jesus lied, would you believe it? And I said, probably not, because I don't think that you can prove it. And as of yet, you haven't been able to prove anything.
I haven't attempted to prove that Jesus lied. As of yet, I haven't attempted, correct?
That is correct.
So saying that I didn't do it is ignoring that I didn't attempt it. And that shows that you are a half step behind in this conversation. Because that's not the question I asked. What I asked you is, if I could prove that Jesus lied, would you still believe in him? Yes or no?
I think if you could prove that Jesus lied, you would have done it. So I don't believe that you can.
False. Please engage with the question as on the table. No, I already have done it on my YouTube. Twice I've proved you wrong. If I could prove that he lied, you wouldn't care. And that's the problem we're having now. You're a professed Christian, but you come into it with the knowledge that he didn't lie, and so you will reject any evidence that he did, because you are motivated by your emotions and not the logic of the situation. When you go and you look at my research after I'm gone, which is soon, you will see that I've always been talking about the lie that Jesus said to the high priest in John 18:20, when he said, "In secret I have said nothing," and the book of Mark, where he explicitly starts the tradition of preaching something in public and something else in private. And that is the lie that I can prove that Jesus said to the high priest. It's provable. And I did just now, but you don't care.
So now I need those two verses, and I need to look them up in context to see.
No, we still need to talk about why you don't care. If it's true, you won't change your mind. If it's true that he lied, you'll still call him God. Why?
Well, I need to look at the context of
You are ignoring the thing I'm asking you. Even if you look at it and it's true, you'll still call him God. I'm not asking you whether you believe it's true. I'm not asking you whether you think it's possible that it's true. It is. You don't care. You're going to call him God anyway. In the same way that I could go to a Muslim and prove there's contradictions in the Quran and they don't care. They'll still call it holy. So go ahead and find the contradictions in the Quran, and then we'll go bring them to the Muslim, and they'll look just like you. Goodbye.
Are you?
So I keep trying to sign off, and then people talk, and so I did disconnect. And I'll disconnect.